Last week for the Patriots, it was not that pretty besides a couple of good moments from Joe Milton. Brissett went 0 for 3 for no yards. Drake Maye was in there for one series and had 19 yards on 2 dinkin' dunks. Bailey Zappi, nearly 50% completion percentage, did not look that great. Meanwhile, Joe Milton basically broke the internet for a couple minutes with his nice scramble and also a decent touchdown pass. It looked pretty good. He looked the best out of all 4 quarterbacks. But now it looks like that Drake Maye should get more playing time. Whether or not he starts, that's up for Gerard Mayo to decide. But yeah, I want to know, what are you looking for in the second week of the Patriots preseason?
Well, the Eagles are one of the premier teams in the NFL in 2024, but my guess is they'll probably play their starters for one series or 2, maybe. They only played one series last week. And I don't think they'll be in there very long for this game. And the Patriots, they're looking to build on the first win that they had with the strong defensive performance. And, I wouldn't say it was terrible quarterback play. We didn't really see much of Jacoby Brissett. He was only in there for 3 plays. And Drake Maye only in there for 7 plays, did complete 2 passes. Bailey Zappi, we talked about this last time. He's out there throwing passes that look like wounded ducks. I think that his time with the Patriots is not going to be much longer. I think that he won't make the team, particularly if Joe Milton plays the way he did last week with that laser beam throw that he has. Wow, he looked really sharp, and he was able to scramble as well. He really did a nice job out there. Maybe he gets a few more reps in this game. It's a good challenge for the Pats. Actually, the Eagles are underdogs in this game, mainly because they're looking at the second strings and how they played. And last week, the Patriots' second string played pretty well, but it was against the Panthers' second string, which may be weaker than the Eagles' second string. We'll have to wait and see. I think the Eagles are underdogs because they're going to limit the playing time of their star talent. They only have 1 drive in Baltimore, as I mentioned. I'd say the big story in this game is Drake Maye. Will he get more reps against the Eagles? I think it's important that he does. The game is in Foxborough, so that helps the Pats. DraftKings have the Pats by 2.5. Pats minus 148, Eagles plus 124. The over-under 36.5 points. So it ain't going to be that high a scoring game, they don't think. But I'll be watching, and as you can tell, I'll be rooting for the Pats.
Based on what I'm now reading about the joint practice, the offense still stinks. Check this out. This shocks me, and I'm actually picking the Eagles to upset the Patriots here. The Patriots quarterbacks got, because you can't sack a quarterback, but sacked on 11 of 48 dropbacks. Nearly 21% of the time, a Patriots quarterback would have been on the ground. That's not good. And also, Drake Maye is still not taking snaps with the starting offensive line. Once again, how bad is the offensive line? You don't trust your 3rd overall pick to stand behind that unit. That is not a good look whatsoever.
Maybe he won't get that many reps if the sack rate is over 20%. Maybe. They don't want him to get hurt.
Well, I think regardless of what happens, the Patriots are going to lose this game because this past practice, both quarterbacks, when it comes to 11 on 11s, Brissett and Drake Maye both went 50% completion percentage. Brissett went 12 of 14, Maye went 6 of 12. Brissett had 2 picks. Maye didn't do anything really eventful. No picks, no touchdowns, whatever the case may be. I don't think it matters. But what I am looking for is the same thing I was looking for in Game 1 against the Carolina Panthers. I'm looking for a whole quarter, preferably, but that probably won't happen based on what we just saw the past game. I'm looking for at least a quarter. I said 2 quarters for Drake Maye. How about just a quarter this time instead of one single series of Drake Maye to let him get into a rhythm? Because we'll let Bailey Zappi go out there and develop a rhythm that was really not a rhythm. It was more like an offbeat, bad beat, just poor play all around. He went 12 of 20 and looked pretty poor. He had a couple, I think 1 or 2 could have been interceptions, but just for the sake of it being the preseason, a couple drops here and there. Joe Milton was the most exciting quarterback, leading to some Patriots fans maybe overstating the excitement around Joe Milton. But honestly, what they've seen in recent history of the New England Patriots is not much excitement when it comes to bad coaches and things like that. But for this preseason game against an Eagles team that we saw week 1 for Mac Jones last year to open up the season, where Mac Jones had his best game, 300 yards and I think, was it 3 touchdowns or a touchdown, something like that. It was the first time in his career he had 300 yards and 3 touchdowns in a single game. So I think that you come out here in a preseason game, you already know you're going to face second, third, fourth string players. If you don't want to put it in Drake Maye immediately against potential first and seconds, you can put him in late in the game, maybe do cleanup crew, and have. I think it's going to be honestly, it's sad to say this. I think it's going to be similar to the first game, where it's really a QB3 battle between Milton and Zappe, who, by the way, are not really taking any snaps at practice. They're focusing primarily on Brissett and Maye, with a lot on Brissett. And I just read you the numbers on 11 on 11s, 12 of 24, 2 interceptions for Brissett, 6 of 12 for Drake Maye. Not a good look. And it still shocks me, although not really, that you won't put your third overall pick, who is supposed to be your QB of the future, behind your starting offensive line. That concerns me. Because how bad is your offensive line?
My prediction, the Pats could go undefeated in the preseason. They could maybe not win a game in the regular season. That's a possibility.
I think, honestly, a lot of people are betting the under on 4.5 wins for the New England Patriots, which is not a bad bet, because I watched Jacoby Brissett. Yes, it was raining, but I saw Jacoby Brissett have a bad underthrow, a bad overthrow, and a throwaway. That was Jacoby Brissett's series. And I saw Drake Maye dink and dunk, and an incompletion.
Joe Milton's not going to get on the field.
I agree, but he at least was exciting.
Yeah.
He showed some excitement.
Maybe they could trade him for somebody. I don't know.
Zappe's probably going to be traded, so Milton's probably going to be QB3.
Nobody's going to want Zappe.
No one wanted him the last time.
He was released last time, and nobody picked him up. And
that was when all the hype was around Zappe, too. It's when Patriots fans kept trading Zappe every time Mac Jones was out there. And they booed him when they took out Maye for him, which, by the way, again, can I just see more than one series of Drake Maye? Can I see a quarter?
I'd like to see.
Can I see him function as a quarterback?
A quarter and a half of Joe Milton. He was the one I really enjoyed watching. He throws that ball like, wow, it's a rocket.
Yeah.
He's got the strong arm. Apparently his issue with not being drafted higher was his consistency. He doesn't.
Yes.
In college, he was a little inconsistent.
His completion percentage was inconsistent. He missed a couple open targets. Jalen Polk's having a good camp. Javon Baker had a couple nice catches in camp thus far. But what I'm looking at is
Kayshon Boutte.
By the way, he was asked what chances that you make the team. He said very high. I think I'm paraphrasing, but I think he said very, very high.
I think partially it had something to do with Schuster.
Juju Smith-Schuster?
Juju Smith-Schuster being released was Boutte's play, although he did drop one, and there was one that he could have made a fantastic catch on, and he didn't.
But he also had another beautiful catch on a high throw by Zappe.
Yeah.
I think all around what I'm looking for is just I want to see rhythm. I don't care how long Jacoby Brissett plays. He's been announced the starter. I think at this point it's a competition between the QB3, who's going to be released by the end of training camp, or maybe even by the end of this game. Zappe, my guess, it is probably
particularly if Joe Milton has another good game.
Depend on what we've seen in practice so far is they're really getting no practice whatsoever.
Those guys,
very, very little. I think I saw recently Milton had 2 throws.
Yeah,
which, yes, I understand he's QB3 and Drake Maye is the future, but at least I want to see Drake Maye out there for a long period of time. More than 2 series. I want to see him. Let's go with 10 attempts. 10 attempts. Let's see how he does. Besides 3, and 2 of them were dink and dunks.
Yeah.
I want to see him throw the ball down the field. I want to see some completions. I don't want to see dink and dunk, because we saw that with Cam Newton. We saw that with Mac Jones. We've seen that with Bailey Zappe. I want to see a throw 10 yards down the field and have it be completed by my rookie quarterback. That's what I want to see.
Not expecting too much, I don't think.
Well, based on what I've seen recently, apparently it is.
Yeah.
And that really is unfortunate, because Drake Maye is supposedly the guy. I still think it's a mistake. I'm going to stand on that hill till proven wrong, because, again, Jaden Daniels or trade back. They decide to stick with Drake Maye, who repeatedly is being called a project. A project on a good team would result in a very high outcome of a good quarterback. But a project on a team that nobody wants to go to and that can't draft talent very well, although maybe with Gerard Mayo and Elliott Wolf, things could change around. But historically, recently, a team that can't draft any talent on the offensive side with a brand new quarterback normally yields a negative result. So we'll have to wait and see what Drake Maye looks like, because this year it looks like Jacoby Brissett.
I'll be watching Thursday night.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Make sure you subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, if you want to check out the full episode, make sure you click the I in the top right-hand corner right now. If you want to listen to this show anywhere you go, make sure you go to anchor.fm/The Harvey Hour or anywhere you get your podcasts.